I have an idea to change the world, a way to make it better. I pitched it to my boss. He says it's gonna make us rich. I had a chat with marketing. They say we gotta reach out to millions. They only had a few quite reasonable suggestions, but I know it's gonna be better for everyone. It's gonna be better for our daughters and sons. Yeah, I know it's gonna be better for everyone. But great ideas need landing gear.
What are you drinking this time, Andy?
I'm on Sig Brew Roadie at the moment.
I've got this episode's going to get interesting. I'm on a 8.2% beer from Northern Monk. It's one of their patrons beers. Have you seen those before? They work with an artist and then they pull out the label like this.
Oh wow, that tastes.
There's loads of information about different artists and things. So yeah, we'll check them out. It's a Leeds brewery. Don't hold it against them. Do an introduction.
Yeah, so welcome to episode 3 of Cheap Cans. No, not really that cheap. These cans, cheap cans, broken vans, and basement bar bands. And this series is basically us reminiscing and talking through everything TNS has released over the last however many years in celebration of releasing our 100th release. So today's episode is releases 21 to 30, and we have done 3 episodes in one, so that's why.
Beers are ready. Sunday drinking is go.
So yeah, this is episode 3, so releases 21 to 30. Chance for us to reminisce about stuff we've done, but also to give people who might have forgotten about some of the releases or might be new to TNS some things to check out. So yeah, release number 21.
I haven't got it next to me. This is a very nice record, isn't it? This is our 3rd vinyl release.
7-inch record. You know, it's. I was going to make a joke about distance, judging distance then, but it is a 7-inch record, and it is by BrainDead from Germany, from Hamburg, and it is a 7-inch called Dub Evolution, and it was a split release with Massprod, Pumpkin, Anticorpor, and Maloka. So yeah.
Introduce us to the first time working with BrainDead, or do we put them on a compilation? I can't remember.
That's a good question, and one I don't know the answer to.
I can't remember, but yeah, they're great people that we've seen both here and in Germany.
I mean, Hamburg's a kind of special place for TNS, really, isn't it? Because obviously you've got St. Pauli, who we're big fans of, but Revenge have toured Germany plenty of times, and we've had some amazing gigs in Hamburg, and we've met some really cool people. So working with BrainDead was always an amazing thing, and seeing them over here loads has been really good as well. I bumped into Yannick from BrainDead at a vegan burger bar in Croatia. We just all right.
Was this before or after their first album? Must have been after.
It must have been after, yeah.
And I can't remember. Is this going to be an episode that now we've drunk stuff? Me and Bev and Andy tried to remember things. But did Pumpkin jointly release their first album? I don't know. It's really good. We must have got it through the distro or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, big wait! Whoa, Kaz has joined us. Hi, Kaz.
Do you mean to be here?
Please put the audio on. Kaz, no, don't go.
We'll leave that bit in.
That's.
Adds a human touch.
I'm really disappointed that she didn't stick around, to be honest.
And if you've watched the first 2 episodes, well done. If you've not, that is the best bit.
You know how at the start we said we were going to interview some people through it, and then we've just rattled through the first 3. That was our opportunity, but she's ruined it. You haven't even unwrapped yours.
I haven't, no, because we sold one, and I posted my copy, and then I asked Big Hans to bring me another copy because I'd sent my copy, which is something nice. Yeah.
It's another cracking album.
Yeah, so Bootscraper at this point we're doing very, very well. I think a lot of people related to TNS. They were one of their favourite bands, and this was just an amazing album, really, isn't it? Like, just the quality of the recording and the quality of the songwriting is outstanding. And I think you know, they were tearing up like venues, and you know, this is I love both albums, but I think this one is the one they'd probably pick out if they were asking people to listen.
Yeah. Was it Bunty that did the artwork?
Yeah, I've got I'll have to move my computer, but I've actually got the original drawing from the CD on the wall. I'll turn my computer, I can do it.
Oh yeah. So you might have seen I think it was for TNS30 we did got Bunty to do an illustration of elements of all our releases into one picture. I've got the original on my wall somewhere. Not in this room. But yeah, that's great release.
Faintest idea playing chess, I mean, or drafts.
Not believable, is it? Not believable.
So yeah, this,
actually, I can imagine Bowl playing chess. To be honest with you,
I'm in the sleeve on this one on a protest on a TUC march. Which you were on as well, but
I was, but you just cut me out. Cut me out.
So this is a funny one. We're going to talk about this one again because there was a few releases from the earlier days that we ended up putting on vinyl, but they were so much later that we treated them as a separate release. So we will come back to this one, but this Faintest Idea have had a different guitarist on every album, haven't they, that we've released for them. This is our years, and yeah, I think a lot of their classic songs are on this, aren't they? Bull in China Shop, House of Cards, Mutual Age, Back to the Asylum. So I think
that's the song's kicked in.
Album, really, you know.
And they really love the government. That's why they put the picture of number 10 on the back.
Yeah, it's where Danny wants to live.
Yeah. God help us all.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to take that back. I think, Danny, you'd be a very good PM. Well done. No, you probably wouldn't. No, I'm going to take that one back. It's a stupid idea. Just get drunk and shout at people rather than actually sorting anything out.
So Danny used to drive Revenge on tour in the early European tour days, and Bev's got some excellent recordings of Danny saying his political beliefs in a very strong way. And if you want them, message Bev.
I don't think I even got to the stage of taking them off the recording device. I think they're in my loft somewhere where they're going to stay.
But yeah, Faintest idea. I'm sure they need no introduction. An amazing band, and that album is an amazing album. So you should check it out. We have got copies on vinyl left. We haven't got any CDs, but yeah, vinyl's better, isn't it? In a lame performance in Memory States, which our memory is being exposed quite badly here. I've only bought the CD version of this, which is actually the first thing we were a lead label on to do vinyl, and it's my own band. So we do have this on vinyl as well. But this was quite a big thing for us, wasn't it? To be the lead label on a vinyl, Shattered Dreams Parkway. So yeah, it was still a multi-label release, but we were the lead label. So 5 Feet Under, Denmark were involved, Pumpkin were involved, Dead Lamb in Ireland, Enters Anamikos in Germany, and Boss Tunage were involved in the release. But for us, it was,
big moment.
It's a proper. We're at the point now where we can do a 12-inch and a CD version.
Yeah,
it might be the best Revenge album, but who cares about the people who wrote it?
I guess it might be our first time working with Aston from Boss Tunage to do the pressing as well, Key Production.
Yeah, I think it probably was. Yeah.
Weird trivia for you there.
To put it into context, there's been a long-term relationship, hasn't it? He's pressed with our vinyl since then.
Helped us, guided us a lot. And obviously, Boss Tunage are an amazing label, so copy ways they work, and I don't know, always copying people and or taking inspiration. And so they've done some great things, and he's helped us out a lot of times, and got pressing through when it's needed. So that's really good. Did that record come with fanzine as well? Is that right, or I made that up? There was like a.
This is the sort of thing I should definitely remember.
You just produced so many things.
Also, if you did watch the first episode, that cat was a bit camera shy, but that cat did get involved. So, yeah. Cartridge reference, always important to any Revenge release. A few people, when we told them the album title for that, said, "That's a bit emo, isn't it?" Cartridge. And that was it. But yeah, Shattered Dreams. It was nice to start finally being able to do vinyl, wasn't it? And
yeah.
And now it just seems essential to do vinyl for
everything. It's vinyl first now. But yeah, it is a big step, and it costs more. So you've got to be more confident that you can sell them. You can't have a lot of vinyl just sat around, else you'll lose money, and then we'll stop putting out releases very quickly.
I mean, the room I'm in is a lot of vinyl sat around. I don't just have loads of copies.
All relative though, isn't it, Andy? Well, you've had 100 releases.
So yeah, buy some of that shit.
Yeah. But do buy records, because we've got to make space to put more in. Can't just put them all in Big Auntie's garage.
Well, what are they called? That's the big question. Snak for ages, but I'm told by Tree that we've been saying it wrong, and Niels has been too polite to tell us, and it's actually Stöj Snak, but it's
Snak.
Tree saying that, so it could be nonsense. But it is an elaborate joke, so I'm not sure he would have made that up. But yeah,
So
Stöj Snak.
we first heard these in, well, it was just Niels on his own at the time, doing acoustic stuff. First heard him in Denmark because Revenge had a couple of gigs in Denmark. I flew over to drink, and I was going to say drink and drive then, but I separated the two, the right amount of time between the two. And I think we played. What was the first gig you had there? It was.
No, it was in Copenhagen, the first gig, and then we played in Aalborg. But did we see him first in? As you said, this will be an episode where we're trying to remember things. But did we see him first at Dirty Weekend, or was it in Aalborg?
No, we brought him across for. It was in because we played the. I can remember us playing. We all got the CD afterwards. We had like a little handmade EP. So we got that and we just played it, and there was like a 4-hour journey between the two. A 4-hour journey at best between the two gigs, and we just played it constantly. Just the lyrics and delivery just blew us away. So yeah, as soon as we found out about this, we jumped on it, didn't we?
Yeah, and we've released a lot more since then, so I guess we'll come back to it and talk about it in more detail in future episodes. But I think a lot of people see this as like a really important release for TNS, don't they? A lot of people went to Denmark. The last time Revenge played in Denmark, came over with us, and he played, and it was pretty incredible, really, wasn't it? I know a lot of people on that trip are like really remember some of his songs as being like proper anthems of their time in the DIY scene. So, which is
yeah, definitely. And yeah, there's a few times it's been amazing when I know he's done like acoustic sessions in that cinema room next to the venue in Aalborg.
Yeah, 1003. Yeah,
and it's just like really atmospheric there. And we've had him in small rooms in Gulliver's or headlining MPF and stuff like that. So yeah, and I guess this has purely come from TNS 16, where we did an international split, and then Revenge have got the chance to go out and play gigs in Denmark. You make friends and go from there.
And then they end up playing people's weddings. How amazing is that?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's amazing how the knock-on effects of some of our releases have been to permanently etched into my leg.
Yeah.
And then it leads on to.
You're not going to show the tattoo.
No, it's not the right time. Later on.
Next up is another Danish extravaganza. So it's Kollapse next. Yeah. So 10-inch vinyl. I think it's the only 10-inch vinyl TNS have ever done.
Yeah. I think
yeah, Kollapse was. So I guess Mighty Midgets split up, and the things they went on to form was Stöj Snak and Kollapse, and probably some other things as well, which again memory escapes. But Kollapse sort of really sort of heavy, slower, sort of very atmospheric music, but amazing, like really, really powerful music. And again, it was quite an interesting thing to go from Snak to that in terms of music, but also in terms of our Danish connections. Like I thought it was really interesting that people from the same band went such different directions and made such different music. But yeah, like such an amazing album, very, very heavy, much different to what we'd done before, really. I mean, we went on to release a couple of quite heavy things, didn't we? But I think
yeah, and I guess those two records just show the big contrast in what we release, and the kind of sets the template for everything we do, like say with MPF and things. There's a common thread going through it, but it's not the same thing. And I guess this period, if you compare it to what we've talked about in the first episode, second episode, shows a lot more variance and us exploring more things, and it's going through our international period where we've learned how to put out releases of Northwest bands, and we've made more contacts within the scene, and we're learning how to put out records as well, and all the things around that, and kind of expanding our reach a bit. So we're not just selling records to people we know in the Northwest, we're selling them much further afield, and kind of having more confidence to put out bands from 2 releases in a row from bands from Denmark from our stupid little label. It's interesting, yeah.
The sort of thing, like, it seems absolutely normal now because we've done it many times, but at the time it was such a big thing. Like, wow, we're actually releasing bands we like from other countries, and people we know in the UK are going, oh, I'll buy this record, this sounds cool. And that was huge, wasn't it? It was something we never really expected to happen.
Yeah, very much so. And I guess it shows the beauty of the collaborated release. So like a lot of our releases, we've pressed all the records, sold them ourselves. These last 2 collaborative releases, we're working with a few different labels, so we can take more of a risk. So we only need to sell 50 to cover our costs, and be able to move on to the next thing. So it's a much easier way to bring new bands in, spread them around the UK, and actually be able to afford to put out vinyl, is that we don't have the full risk of lots of records sat in Big Hands' garage and us not being able to afford to release anything again.
Yeah, well, I guess the big thing is that everything is easier if people work together, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then looking at my list, we went into a Yorkshire phase. I don't know what we were thinking.
Sounds of Swami were up next, and this is just a CD release, and so we did the Sounds of Swami 7-inch, which was very much the 80s hardcore sort of side of their sound, but this was more true to their live sound, I guess, like the more sort of techie, sort of complex musically, but like melodic, sort of at times straight up rock, at times hardcore, at times really experimental. It's just a very clever album, isn't it?
Yeah, they're one of those bands that are all just absolutely incredible musicians and can turn their hand at anything and just blow you away. As well, just check out the album. You can see that.
Yeah, they're one of the bands that I watch, and I'm just like, every time I forget how much I love this band. And as I said in the previous episode, they're one of my favorite bands. But your jaw drops sometimes. They're technical and melodic as well. Like a lot of bands are, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I watch a lot of bands who are really clearly amazing musicians, but I don't go away with a song in my head. I don't go away thinking like singing a song back, and I think, well, that was impressive, but it's not got that catchy sort of side to it. Whereas with Swami,
Connect with you,
I
kind of thing.
go away from a gig and I'm remembering the songs they played, and so they've got that amazing balance, which seems really tricky to achieve, of having that technical side and that atmospheric side, but also that, you know, that really catchy side as well. So yeah, well done.
I presume it was them that did the artwork on this one. It was I really like the logo, really as well.
Kurt also recorded the Harajan album as well. So
Yeah, we're going to keep selling that all the way through. Every episode, we'll have a sale point for the Harajan album.
yeah, well done, Kurt. You're good at everything. Yeah, fuck off, mate.
I've got this one. I found this one in time. Acid Drop.
A very nice relationship, wasn't it? So Acid Drop featured Ben from Nosebleed, who, as most of you will know, we've done loads of stuff with. But Acid Drop, as a band, they were very much involved in setting up Pie Race Festival. Oh my god! Festival is. Oh, I can't be serious when I'm looking at this. I mean,
that is magical. I'm taking a picture of that in a minute.
I mean, should we just stop there? We can't say anything.
What more is there to say?
But yeah, I mean, Pie Race is one of the highlights of every year, isn't it? It's an amazing weekend, and it goes back to this whole idea that for us, a band isn't just about playing music, is it? It's about being involved in every aspect of it. And I don't think many bands epitomise that more than Acid Drop. But you know, really sort of cool, catchy, skate punky stuff, like for those who are into no effects type stuff, like, but also mixing a bit of like the sort of flogging Molly drop kick stuff into it as well. So yeah, just catchy tune after catchy tune, but the right ethics as well, the right ethos, and it was nice. It was the start of a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, very much so. I can't really add much of that. It is like, I know we keep saying it, but it is very important to us whether a band supports the scene, because at the end of the day, it relies on everyone working together to achieve any of this. We're not doing it as jobs. We're not doing, it's all in the spare time. So it requires everyone to chip in to make these things happen. If we want something to happen, you've got to do it yourself. Nobody else is going to provide this community or this scene or these gigs or these records to us. We've got to work together. And so, TNS as a label is never going to be a big label with money to chuck at PR and advertising and getting the word out and breaking through. So it relies on everyone working together to break through and get people to hear. And I think people will connect with stuff that's where people put the effort in and actually, mean it. And if people don't connect, they're not going to buy it.
Like there's, if you are pissed off with something that you have no control over, there's nothing you can do. But the DIY scene, it's a platform where if you don't like something, you can have a go. And there are people there who are going to just go, right, well, these people are trying this out. Let's give it a listen. Let's see what they're doing. And there's lots of people who will ignore it. And it's frustrating. And, we had years of quiet gigs or disappointing sales, but eventually, like you make those connections and people give it the time of day, and it's amazing, isn't it? And it's hard work, and we haven't, as Bev says, we haven't got the benefit of a big budget, but if you're pissed off with something in the DIY scene, you've got a platform to say, I'm going to have a go. I'm going to put the thing forward that I'm passionate about, and that's fucking incredible, isn't it?
I guess that's where the point that everything that we do or comes from is we've got drunk and gone, oh, that's not right, or oh, why don't they support them? And we've kind of gone, well, if we want that done, we've got to do it ourselves, and that's the only way that these things are going to happen. So yeah, do it, and that's the beauty. If you don't like what we do, that's fine. We do a lot wrong, and we make mistakes all the time, and but the beauty is that you can do it yourself as well, because there's nothing special about us.
Well,
really isn't.
Well, we look at things, and this has really highlighted this to me, like doing this series of podcasts, is that there's loads of stuff I would do absolutely massively differently now.
So much.
But we did it that way because that was what felt right at the time, and that's what we came to as a way.
I guess there's things we just did because we thought it was the way things were done. I don't know, yeah. And you look through this and go, well, I wouldn't do that now. But then that might be the reason why we don't do that now, is because we've done it and gone, oh no, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with what we did then. So I'm not going to make that mistake again. And then we make more different mistakes. This is a good album.
So yeah, another one that's on vinyl and CD, BrainDead. So we've talked about BrainDead in this little section already, but yeah, great bands, great ethos. It's nice to meet people who have the same sort of ideas and are doing similar things. So yeah, it was really important to us to have some involvement with them on the label, and it's a good album. It's just like really enjoyable album, like mixture of ska, punk, dub, just done really well. Just one of those bands where it's only a three piece and you're thinking when you're watching them, oh wow, how do they make this noise with three people?
Yeah, they're absolutely incredible. Who put out this album, Andy? This was another split release, wasn't it?
It was. So Mass Prod, Maloka, Pumpkin, Anticopa, Abracadab Boom, and Direction, and us. So yeah, I think for us, like non-UK releases, a collaboration works really, really well, because as much as I'd love a world where we can sell a full quantity of BrainDead albums to our audience, people haven't been exposed to them in the same way that they have with maybe the bands who are from the UK, have they? So
yeah,
a collaboration is really important to us, because we want people to hear this music, but we can't necessarily fund it on our own. So I think that these ways of working with other labels are really important to us.
Yeah, for context, like we're talking, we can't sell 300 records for a band. Well, a lot of bands, but we can't sell 300 records. But say for a band outside the UK, we can't do that. But we can do 30, 40, 50 and do a split release that way. And then you can have
100 in some cases, which is amazing. So
that's where the context is coming from. That's kind of like we were saying, it's hard to sell records. I think a lot of people think it's easy to sell 1,000, 2,000, and it is for a lot of bands that are bigger, but for our kind of level, that's not possible. So you're not going to cover the cost or the outlay, and that's why collaboration releases on this kind of thing work really well.
I mean, I think that's an interesting point, isn't it? Like, people's perception of how big the DIY scene is interesting because, you know, in reality, there's not that many bands in the DIY scene who are selling 1,000 records, is there? There's hardly any. And probably people's perception of what a DIY band sells is out of sync with reality, which is understandable. But, you know, just to reiterate, we say it all the time on social media, every single sale makes a difference, doesn't it? You know, no band is profitable in our scene. Absolutely not.
Every single sale, like, well, obviously we handle every single sale that goes out, but that's like seeing that one, like, you might be the one email that we get in that day, and it makes a difference. And if we don't sell, we have to, you know, there's so many things outside the releases we have to pay for that if they're not paid for, we quickly run out of money and we stop. So it makes a massive difference.
We're not blaming all this on BrainDead. It's not all.
No, what we're saying is that it's an example of how it works really well. And
so no Fealty. So on vinyl, Shadow and Monolith, and it's heavy. It's really, really heavy. And so obviously we got to go to Denmark, as we've mentioned a few times, and 5 Feet Under put on a gig which had loads of the bands they'd released on in one day, and Revenge played that, and we got to see No Fealty live, and oh my god, it was extreme. It was passionate. It was amazing, wasn't it? It was just like a full-on performance, and what a great band. And so really proud to have that on the label. I think it's probably the heaviest thing we've released, isn't it?
Yeah, in bass, yeah, in style and stuff. No, that's why I pulled it out as an example of the kind of the difference between the cross section of stuff we've put out. But yeah, that was just on vinyl. And now we're up to TNS30.
Wow. So yeah,
I think we have to record in another day, Andy, else by the time we get up to 60, we'd not be able to talk anymore.
So to put that into context, we've recorded the first 3 episodes in one go, and we will have some special celebrity big hands guests on next time. Kaz snuck in early, but so probably Big Hands and Kaz will be joining us for episode 4, and then we'll probably get some other people on for some other episodes. But thank you for listening to us go on. I know it's a little bit self-indulgent, particularly in the 3rd episode of a session where you've done 3 episodes in a row and drank quite a lot. But yeah, thank you. That's episode 3. We'll see you for releases 31 to 40 very soon. See you later.
Awooga!